He wore the armor. He said, no, this thing no fit. He took it up. But he chose his battle and chose the strategy. The truth of the matter is that the point I'm making is, how do we deal with the problems of recruitment to public life? Because if we continue with this whole idea of gatekeepers, and let me make the point very clear, that all these surrogate associations that have become gatekeepers, they are part of the dangers of our politics. Because clearly, the American political process is thriving the way it is thriving because people have been able to credit and privilege an individual. Many of us who are claiming ethnic loyalties, the truth of the matter is that most of us don't even speak the language. Our children don't speak the language. Igbo has become an endangered language now. Why? Because the problem is that many Igbos cannot finish a sentence without adding English. And the same thing with Hausa, the same thing with Fulani, the same thing with Fulfulde, the same thing with almost every language. So our identities are changing. And the times are changing. The critical question, in my view, will be for us to think a bit more creatively. If you take Obasanjo, if you take Babangida, everybody didn't do nothing. It is not true. What are the things that this person did well? Let's at least identify, even if it is one thing. And figure out how we can build on it. Because when you fail, you learn not to do the same thing again. I call, one of the governors, and I think I can mention his name. The governor of Gombe. I called him on the phone one day. And I said to him, sir, I was just joking. I said, how does it feel? As Accountant General of Nigeria, all these zeros were limitless. And you were looking at them every day. Hundreds of thousands of zeros. Now you have come back to these small zeros in Gombe. How do you feel? And the governor had the honesty. He said to me, he laughed. He said, but Bishop, even with these small zeros, we can do something if we want. The truth of the matter is that we must also accept the politicians require a bit of encouragement. We may not like many of them. And the average child doesn't like his father. But for the wrong reasons. I will not be here. My decision to go to school was not my decision. The decision of a child to have a path is not his decision. The very notion that some of us think that somehow Nigeria cannot progress until we have a sovereign national conference is a rather romantic idea. But frankly, can we sustain the debate? Because again, we are saying we require a sovereign national conference. Okay, fine. But let's not deceive ourselves. I was secretary of the Political Reform Conference.